Hello my amazing people and welcome back. Today I will tell you a story of how I started my Amazon business and what I learned from it. So get comfortable and let's start. Mind you, this is going to be much of a compressed story because there's so much more to it, but just a couple of points. And at the end, I will reveal number one mistake I did with my Amazon business. So last year, 2021, I'm sitting on the beach and I'm giving myself a promise that I'm going to start an online business. Mind you, I wasn't sure which model I'm going to pick in particular. I wasn't familiar with Amazon. I was only familiar with it from a shopper's perspective, not from a seller's perspective. But I promised myself that I'm going to do something that's going to move all of my work to online, and I'm going to learn this particular business model. Of course, I never imagined how much money and effort and time it's going to take to actually get this business up and running. I cannot say that I'm fully where I want to be with my Amazon. There's still so many hidden rules and regulations that you need to follow, so many tricks and so many hacks you need to learn, and so many apps and Chrome extensions you need to buy in order to make your even properly a market research. So let me just tell you 5 points that I learned in the last year, I would say, since I started Amazon. So let's get into it. I started Amazon about 8 months ago. I was determined to find a way to make money online, and I wanted to spend more time with my family, with my children, being a single parent and all of the activities and appointments that my children require are my responsibility. So it gets overwhelming here and there, and it's absolutely impossible to have a full-time job. Point number one. There's a lot of competition. You would be surprised how resourceful people are. And if you think that you came up with some kind of a clever idea of what to sell, I can guarantee you that someone else already did it. Now, I don't want to discourage you and say that it's impossible to start a business in 2022, but it's a bit much, well, it's not a bit, it's much more challenging, and it's much more complex every day as the time goes by. And it's crazy what you can buy on Amazon today. Like, before you start getting yourself involved into this particular business model, you have to decide for yourself how serious you want to be with it. Do you want to do it as a full-time? Do you want to do it part-time? How much actual time you have to allocate to this? I decided that I want to do it part-time, so I allocate about an hour a day. Number two, it's an investment. Whoever's telling you otherwise is lying. Inflation and COVID had a lot to do with export and import business, and a lot of costs went up. So you have to really make sure that you educate yourself and know if you can actually afford to start this business model. It's not going to take you just $5,000 to $6,000. It's more than $7,000 to $8,000 just to start. There are so many hidden fees that you need to be aware of, so make sure that you really truly educate yourself. Number three, get an instructor. I am going to link down below the instructor that I took. She was fantastic. You need to learn all of the basics before you go into anything much more complex. You need to know how to open an Alibaba account, how to negotiate with a factory in China, how to open a Seller Central account, how to actually do all of those steps, how to connect your bank account to your Seller Center account. There's so many small tricks and steps that you need to actually do before you get into the process of researching which product to buy, before to buying actual product. So be ready to invest a lot of time and money at the beginning for this particular business model. Number four, be sure that you know that how much you're going to invest when it comes to marketing. Marketing was one of the most expensive things that I did when I started Amazon. So whatever you're going to invest in your product is one thing, but marketing, the cost per click really went up. Whatever you think that cost about 30 cents per click last year costs about 60 cents per click this year. So make sure that you find someone, even if you're not too familiar with that particular PPC model that Amazon offers. Educate yourself. Besides the instructor that's going to teach you how to run the Amazon business, find someone who knows how to do PPC campaigns, and make sure you do a couple of one-on-ones so you can get a feel of what it is exactly, how it works, how to build your campaigns, how to take advantage of the honeymoon period when you just launch your product. There's so many points to it, so educate, educate, educate. Number 5, Amazon customer service is semi-helpful. I cannot say that they were really extremely knowledgeable because it's not always, you're not gonna always get someone who knows how the system works. It's all a big computerized system, right? So when you call for customer service, it can be someone in Cuba, for example, that is doing those phone calls and taking information from you. So make sure if you don't like the person or you feel that that person is not knowledgeable, you make another attempt on calling them and getting someone who is much more familiar with the way the system works. I found that out of my 5 requests, for example, that I had issues, about 2 were resolved, not always to my liking, but more or less I was helped. Generally, you will need to be very resourceful. You would need to go online. There's a lot of YouTubers who provide a lot of information on how to deal with particular errors, whatever mistakes you did on, I don't know, doing a shipping schedule and you want to delete it. There's so many points, so be resourceful. Make sure you're part of some of the Facebook those pages that have like a lot of people who are having issues with Amazon. So make sure you kind of sign up to those pages and post questions. Don't be shy to ask questions. There's a lot of people who are facing the exact same challenges as you are, and they can help. Keep yourself informed when it comes to the Amazon space. There's a lot of podcasts that I truly recommend. One of the top one that I listened for about a year, I still do. It's called the Serious Seller Podcast, and they're, the host, Bradley Sutton, who is part of the Helium 10, which is a tool that most Amazon sellers use for marketing research. He's extremely knowledgeable. All of his guests are very down-to-earth people who are experiencing maybe the same things that you are, and he's interviewing them, and all of the interviews are organic interviews, nothing scripted, problems that people, sellers in Amazon world deal with day to day. So make sure you sign up to that particular podcast. It's extremely helpful. Another podcast that I recommend, it's PPC Den. It's mostly related to the marketing campaigns, to your PPC's campaigns for Amazon. It's a bit more complex, but once you get into it, you start understanding more and more. Starting a small business is very challenging, so make sure you are apt to your task and you have enough money and time to allocate to this particular business model. Never doubt that it's too late or too early. Now it's the perfect time. Now it's the time to start, because whoever thought that last year was too late is already 1 year into running an Amazon like I am. So don't ever doubt yourself. If you think that you can do it, then by all means, educate yourself and get on it. So for those of you who followed along, the #1 mistake I did when I purchased my first product from Alibaba from China. So this product had a particular smell and I did not know about it. But I purchased whatever quantity I did, I think it was 300 pieces, and it was shipped directly to an Amazon warehouse. And once it became live and I started selling, I had complaints from customers because I did not get a sample. I did not know. So I had to kind of do a lot of refunds and talk to customers, send emails, send messages. So please, this is the #1 thing that you should do, is get a sample. 100% get a sample. It's gonna eliminate any kind of extra cost you might occur later down the line. And it's not that expensive. Usually whoever is giving you the full product can pay for your sample. You just have to pay for shipping, either UPS or FedEx. So don't do the mistake that I did. Get a sample. If you enjoyed this video, please do watch this video. I talk about 10 business strategies for small business owners, and I will see you next time.